The moment I said those words and left Hayden, I felt a mixture of emotions: sadness, heartbreak, and pain. Yet there was also a rare sense of relief. As I left the Red Claw pack, I saw a familiar figure standing not too far from me, as if he was waiting for me. The closer I got to the figure, I realized it was my dad. My memories of what I had done to him came back to me in a rush. I stubbornly left him and my pack for Hayden and cut off my ties with him for 3 whole years. But despite his objections, there he was waiting for me. "Charlotte, my good daughter," he said gently and opened up his arms. Looking at him, still accepting me even though I had been a bad daughter to him, I felt all the grievances and resentment I had experienced explode, and all my defenses crumbled down. I ran the short distance separating us and threw myself at him. "Dad," I sobbed. Feeling the familiar warmth of my dad's embrace, my tears fell hard from my eyes like a dam that just broke. "Dad," I sobbed brokenly. There. Dad is here now. Everything will be fine. Dad won't allow anyone to make you sad anymore," my dad said gently as he stroked my back. Hearing his words, I broke down even further. I thought he would blame me for going against him 3 years ago, but no, he was still the same dad who doted on me so much. "Let's go home first, little Lottie," he used the nickname he had called me since I was small. I nodded while still being enveloped by his strong arms, and he led me toward his car. Suddenly I remembered that I had driven here and stopped him from pulling me to his car. "Dad, I drove here." I pointed embarrassedly to the old black car not far away from where we stood. He looked at the car I was pointing at and became livid. He actually dared to give my daughter that piece of junk. "No, Dad. I was the one who chose it. I didn't want him to think I was only with him for his wealth," I quickly explained, but then I felt my words were wrong. It sounded like I was defending Hayden. Would Dad get mad? My dad scrutinized me with his black eyes and said, "It was his loss for leaving such a precious princess like you." I sighed in relief, and my mood was lifted when I heard my dad's words. For him, I would always be his little girl who needed protection. "Just leave that junk there. It's not suitable for you," he said, pulling me toward a black Rolls-Royce without giving me a chance to say no. Not that I would say no to sitting in a Rolls-Royce. To be honest, I kinda missed living a luxurious life. Sitting in the Rolls-Royce, I closed my eyes and enjoyed the sensation. The soft leather seat, the smell of expensive leather, and the smooth way the Rolls-Royce glided across the road were enough to lift the corners of my lips into a smile. We reached the Mooncrest pack, and my dad led me to his study straight away. He sat behind his desk while I sat opposite him. He looked at me calmly, but his calm gaze made me feel like a student being called into the principal office for doing something bad. I looked down and fiddled with my fingers, not daring to look at him. "Tell me what you've been through the past 3 years, Lottie," he said in a voice that broke no argument. My head snapped up at his words. I knew he would ask me this question, and I was prepared for it, but I was still hesitant to tell him when the time came. He raised an eyebrow at me, and I knew I had no other choice but to tell him. I told him everything that had happened, from the moment I was claimed and married to Hayden to the moment when I decided to break the maid bond with him. I saw my dad's face darkened with each word I spoke, and the moment I finished, his face turned so ugly, which made my heart thump from fear. Would he blame me for being so stupid? "Dad, I'm Dash." I was about to apologize to him, but he cut me off. "How dare they treat you like that?" he roared, and I flinched. "That alpha, his mistress, sister, and pack. I'll destroy them all." Seeing how furious he was, I quickly stood up, rounded the table, stood behind him, and began kneading his shoulders to calm him down. "Dad, I'm okay now. I have decided to terminate my May bond with him. And now I'm back, they won't be able to do anything to me because you will protect me." I was so glad he didn't blame me and still took my side. I felt his anger begin subsiding and his body relaxing. "You are right," he nodded. "Now that you are back, you'll be treated the way you should be, like a princess." His words made me smile. "Yes, Daddy is the best." He chuckled, stood up, and hugged me. I'm sorry that you have to go through all those horrible experiences. And I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you, he said with a sad voice and a guilty expression. Looking at him like that made me want to cry again. Dad, it wasn't your fault. I was the one who stupidly chose to marry him and stayed with him even though they treated me horribly. My dad scowled and flicked my forehead. Yes, you were stupid to want to be hurt repeatedly. I rubbed my forehead and pouted. He smiled and rubbed my head dotingly. But now you have a clear mind. I'm glad you've decided to leave him. He doesn't deserve you. And from now on, my little Lottie will be doted and pampered. Dad won't let anyone hurt you anymore. I hugged him hard with a huge grin and praised him again. Thank you, Daddy. You are the best. He chuckled and hugged me back. I loved my dad so much. Now I really felt stupid for leaving him and the pack for Hayden 3 years ago. Lottie, Dad called me in a serious tone. I looked at him and saw that his expression was serious too. Do you need Daddy's help in taking revenge? I can wage war between our pack and his. He wouldn't be able to win against us. Even though I was grateful to my dad for doting on me so much to the point he wanted to eradicate the Red Claw pack, I still refused his suggestion. No need, Dad. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. Just let him be with Sophia. After breaking the May bond tomorrow, I'll treat him as a stranger, I said firmly, but there was a trace of bitterness and sadness in my heart. It seemed to say the words breaking the May bond, and thinking of Hayden with Sophia could still affect me. That's my good daughter. Just forget him and treat them like strangers. Don't let them affect you anymore. Dad smiled dotingly at me. I will. Don't worry, Dad. Even though I was sad to leave Hayden, I had already made up my mind to forget him and move forward. As Dad said, he didn't deserve me. Dad, I need to meet Olivia now. But I promise you that I'll prepare to take over the pack from now on, I grinned at him. His eyes lit up. He had always wanted me to take over the pack and become the first female alpha since 3 years ago, but I chose to leave and be with Hayden. Good. Just remember that Dad will always have your back, all right? If you encounter any problems, just come to Daddy, he said with a pleased expression. I will. Thank you, Dad. I'll see you later. We hugged again before I left to meet Olivia. Olivia was waiting for me outside of the pack's main house. Char. She waved when she saw me. Her innocent face and gestures immediately made me smile.
Please download Novels Ago and search the code in the upper left corner to continue reading.